Welcome back, guys. Content creators leaving, we'll talk about the surface level problem, but also get much more deep into it. So you can leave in a couple minutes or watch to the end to understand the nuances that only a content creator could tell you. We're going to talk both Heroes of Middle-earth and Galaxy of Heroes. So if you're watching this on the AP Games YouTube channel, you're probably interested in Galaxy of Heroes creators. If you're watching this on the Heroes of Middle-earth channel, the PP Games channel, you're probably interested in creators in that space. But we'll talk about both. And probably upload this video on both channels. The TLDR, if you don't want to get into the nitty gritty, is money. These games, especially the two Galaxy of Heroes games, sorry, there's something in my eye. The creators do not make very much money. Now, there's some exceptions. Obviously, Arnold kind of hit the holy grail of being early plus being exceptional in his entertainment, both from his pre-existing personality and stuff like that. He's been an entertainer his whole life, but also his desire to increase production value and be an innovator in that front. So there's outliers like that, obviously. There's Twitch streamers who make a large chunk of money as well. I think the Twitch streamers make the most and are generally the most susceptible to leaving by the more in-depth factors that we'll talk about here in a second. I'm just going to auto this rate. I don't care what score I get. So I guess I'll break it down from a bunch of different aspects, but obviously the TLDR is money. One thing that I've been very fortunate about in my content creation journey is I started when I was 19, and I was going to college. I did classes in the morning. I had track practice in the afternoon, and I streamed and I recorded videos at night. So I was able to spend way more time than I should have making videos and building the community and the channel and stuff like that most content creators can't. And so I guess if we take one peel off of the onion past money, it's time. A lot of content creators, I'm sure you're well aware of, are husbands, wives, parents, have full-time jobs, obviously, are just generally busy. And content creation is not something that caters very well to people who are busy. The days that I make the most money content creating is when I spend all day live streaming. Who would have guessed? You spend more time with the ability to make money, you end up making money. Just like if you worked an hourly wage, you would make more money the longer you work. And so I guess if we peel another layer back, the amount of money that you actually make doing content creation, especially for Galaxy of Heroes and Heroes of Middle-earth, which is something we're going to talk about because that's the games that I play in the areas in the niche that I'm in. Sorry, my eye is like burning right now. I guess I just have a bunch of eyelashes in it. But generally speaking, I would say I make more than the people who just do YouTube, but less than the people who do Twitch and stuff like that, or at least the top end of the Twitch streamers. We talked about Twitch streamers being a little bit more likely to quit, and the reason that is because bad things happening in these games leads to the big spenders leaving, and the big spenders, I'm sure, as you can probably guess, are the people who end up, spending the most money on donations and stuff like that for Twitch streams. So Twitch streamers are kind of adversely affected, or they're affected to a higher degree than, say, YouTubers are, because all of their money, as opposed to just a majority of their money, comes from direct donations, which is why things like Patreon are things that I push really hard, because in times where ads are down or viewers are down or people are leaving or the big, super chatters are leaving or whatever, having just a little bit of extra leeway through something like a Patreon is quite honestly the only reason that my YouTube channel has been alive as long as it has. And that's not to say that I make very much money at all. I'm actually going to show you exactly how much money I make and what I make the money on. I just have to text the groomer back because my dog is doing a bath because he rolled around in the mud. Sorry about that. And I'm definitely not editing this video. So generally speaking, I make $5.12 every 1,000 views that I get. So right now I have 3.1 million views on the year, which means I actually can tell you the exact amount of money that I have made off of YouTube. Let me actually pull this up so you don't think that I'm lying to you. This is the exact amount of money that I have made. 15,000 in the last 365 days. I have made $15,721.93 from ad revenue, which is nice for a third job for some people. And with super chats added onto that and memberships, I'm looking at $23,784.86 in the last calendar year. I don't know why I just clicked on that. Which, if you're wondering how that compares to, say working at McDonald's or something like that, well, the minimum wage where I live is $15.50. So if I worked a minimum wage job for a full work week over the course of the year, I would have made $32,240 prior to taxes, which is obviously much more than this. And this also is before taxes, and content creators get double taxed, which is kind of annoying. So realistically, I would say this is probably an accurate number for how much money I have pocketed in the last calendar year. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I do live in the most expensive place in the country to live, the Bay Area, where the poverty line is $100,000 a year per person. So I would say I'm doing a fifth of what the government deems to be poor. So I guess you can call me not the richest poor person in the world, but the poorest poor person. It's not that bad. Don't worry. I live with my mom. I don't pay rent. I'm actually living the good life, guys. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so I think that kind of explains the monetary aspect of why content creators quit. There's just not enough money in it. But there is another equally important point that I think a lot of people miss, and that's the relationship between capital games and the content creators. It's a very interesting one. Obviously, most people are aware that they kind of shun Arnold because of some things they did many years ago. They tried to enforce like a really faulty clause in some contract that he never signed, and it was a whole thing. It's actually on their Wikipedia page, and for the large part, from the people at CG that I've talked to, no one even really remembers or cares about that. It was kind of like an ego thing from the top, and it's kind of washed over. But they still won't really talk to him too much. Smaller content creators have frequently had interactions with CG, and as someone who has communicated, I don't know if clandestine, I don't even know what that word means because I'm not very intelligent, but covertly maybe, as someone who's had very often, very frequent dealings with CG over a number of years in a kind of hush-hush way, how they think of, their opinion of you is very important, right? That's why you see a lot of people who were in beta programs and stuff like that kind of be a little bit more, I don't know the proper wording here, but be a little bit more favorable towards capital games. You've seen that not so much in Galaxy of Heroes because they don't do that much, but it's definitely been a problem in Heroes of Middle-earth. Or not a problem, but it's been prevalent in Heroes of Middle-earth, and the community there actually hates it, which I find understandable, but also a little weird that they would care so much about something. You think I spend all day working? No, I spend all day reading your comments and figuring out what people think because, let's be honest, my job is to know what people think and to make content for what people want so that they either learn or enjoy it. And that's how I make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. The same reason I have nothing wrong with CG monetizing their game, because that's how they make money. I have to scour the internet to figure out what people are interested in and make videos on what people are interested in and stream stuff that people are interested in, because this tuna sandwich that I'm eating right here was paid for by my ability to read YouTube comments. But there's been a very tense relationship between the community and the people who deal directly with capital games out in the open. For instance, I deal with them not so out in the open, and I've largely never gotten any pushback for it because the extent of my relationship is I know some of the people who work there prior to them working there, or since they've been, since I've been playing the game and they worked there before I started playing, and we become friends and we talk about the game all the time. They're not leaking anything to me or, betraying their company secrets or anything, but we, bond over our love for Grand Arena and Star Wars and we talk about the shows and we just generally are friends and stuff like that, right? And, I think that's a great place. That's a great line to draw between content creator and, the studio that develops the game. The problem becomes when you directly profit off of the studio. Incentives can be mixed up. This quote is often attributed to Warren Buffett, but I believe it was actually Charlie Munger who said, show me a incentive and I'll show you an outcome, or I'll show you a behavior, I think. But the general sentiment behind that is it's pretty self-explanatory, but, if I benefit by doing something, I'm going to do it. And content creators will do things that benefit them, just like you will do things at work or in your life that benefit you. That's just what people fucking do. You can't really hold that against anyone. But in Heroes of Middle-earth, which has become a reason that a couple of content creators have left, and then in the past in Galaxy of Heroes, it's the case that CG pulls that back sometimes, and the uptick in ad revenue and donations and publicity and stuff like that you get from dealing with them and getting direct benefit from their ability to tell the entire community to go watch your stuff, it can kind of be hard to regress back to the mean, if that makes sense. Like if you were doing, $1,000 a month on YouTube, and then you bump up to $1,500 a month because you have increased traffic flow because there's your stream or your, exclusive of whatever the new the new character that comes out, the new marquee, that pushes you up to $1,500. But then they decide to take it away because someone leaks stuff, and it's not like everyone who's a content creator and everyone at CG knows exactly who is leaking that stuff. It's just that they can't really do anything about it because the person that was doing it was a little bit too powerful. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I want to make this video anymore. But at the end of the day, it can be hard to see those numbers go down. Like if we go back to the amount of money I was making, let me actually pull this up for you. Like where it gets difficult is, which year is this? This is February. What the fuck? October. I guess that's just my all-time. But like months where I was making almost $3,000, 2,000 of these dollars, honestly, were from like 3 people. These are all these outliers. These $2,600, $2,900, $3,500 a month. These are when Joe. Let me actually see. Yeah, transaction revenue. These are super chats. These are months where Joe has basically kept my family alive, essentially. But going from months like these to months like September, where I made less than $1,000, and it when this was the only thing that I was making, this was it. This was this wasn't like I was working another. It was like this was what I had to live on. I show you the tuna sandwich I make, and everyone jokes about how I eat ramen, but I mean there were multiple months in my YouTube career where I have fucking bills piling up on my desk, and I just didn't eat for a long period of time, or I'd eat like one meal a day, just going to Safeway or doing whatever. It's just too expensive, and you literally look at your bank account, you look at the bills that are piling up on your desk, and you just can't. You just can't. you just don't eat for a couple months. You know what I mean? And this is my fault. This is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I want to do. Like this right here is my life. Yes, Galaxy of Heroes and Middle-earth, I love them a lot, but like you guys, the community that I built, this is probably the most important thing in my life outside of God, my family, and my undying support for the red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? Like, and when you give your all and you get not enough to live on, and for everyone who's telling me to move out of California, since my dad had a stroke and his bills are like $180,000 a year, and he's too sick to actually move, we're literally stuck here. Like I can't like go to Texas where it's cheaper, or move to Alabama, or something like that. Like I literally, like if I want to be where I can see my dad, I have to be here. And that's just the way life works. And don't cry for me. You know, I live in a place where everything is great. And, you know, yes, there's some problems in the Bay Area, but like I've lived a very happy and blessed life, and there's nothing that I would change about it. And if I have to make sacrifices for something that I love, I'm going to do it. But again, going back to the original point of the video, a lot of creators can't. A lot of creators have families. A lot of creators have full-time jobs. And YouTube money is something that they depend on. If we go back to Cubs fan Han, you know, when Galaxy of Heroes shot down and he wasn't getting millions and millions of views and making a ton of money, or, you know, making insanely massive amounts of money on like affiliate deals for mobile game sponsorships, you know, he had a family. And he's one of the men that I respect most in the content creation space. And he learned an entirely new skill that he found valuable and loved and has become successful doing to take care of his family. And a lot of creators are going to take the good husband, good father route like Cubs fan Han, and that leads them away from content creation. And so I don't want you to go bash your favorite creators, because I know a lot of people, especially in Heroes of Middle-earth, Tana just left and he's getting absolutely destroyed right now for it. People are like, oh, you always, you know, you quit Marvel Strike Force a bunch of times, you're quitting, you're going to come back, and you're going to quit again. Like he's got a sick kid. He can't work because he has to take care of him full time. Like, I know a lot of people think it's vain to care about the money, but like, you know, he's got a sick kid that he has to take care of. And if Heroes of Middle-earth can't help provide for his child, why the fuck should he do it? You know what I'm saying? If Cubs fan Han can't take care of his wife and his kids and pay his mortgage doing content, why the fuck should he do it? You know, it pisses me off sometimes. I mean, I love you guys. I know most creators think they have a parasocial relationship with their fans and their audience, but like, you know, my ability to eat this fucking tuna sandwich right here, which is actually really good and gotten cold because I've tried to record this video like 5 times. My ability to buy and consume this tuna sandwich is dependent on you guys, and it's not just a monetary transaction. I mean, we stream at fucking like 2 a.m. for like 40 people, and we just talk about life and have fun. You know what I mean? Like, this is, to me, and I'm very blessed that I live, you know, in my mom's basement, and she takes care of me because I'm a fucking baby, that I can do the fucking stupid task of doing that with my life. But some people can't. You know what I mean? Some people have to be men and take care of their families. And it's not just men, obviously. There's, you know, shout out to Celiac Sarah. I feel like she plugs the one hole of content that I have in my channel. Is I hate Conquest and I never talk about it. And so I plug her channel as much as humanly possible. And she's a great person and a great wife and a great mother. So I don't want to make you think that I'm sexist by just referring to people being men, but let's be honest, it's 99.999% men who do content creation for Galaxy of Heroes and Heroes of Middle-earth. And they got fucking families, and they got kids, and they got lives, and they got mortgages, and they have responsibilities. And if you're going to be mad at them for prioritizing the people and the things in their life that truly mean something to them for some entertainment for a few $100s a month, go fuck yourself, right? I don't know if I'll actually upload this video. I said a lot of really controversial things, and I'll get a ton of pushback. Last time I made a video about this, I got last time I covered this, I received so many death threats, like unironic death threats, that now when you try, you know, when you try to DM me on Discord and it comes back and it says go fuck yourself, you can't message this person. That's what happened last time I did this, and I'm probably opening up myself for massive criticism, but it's really upset me the way people have been reacting and treating the people that have made these hard decisions. And I know it comes from a place of ignorance and selfishness. And I'm hoping that knowing what really goes on will help dissuade people from behaving that way. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.